Welcome to another update video about Solana. We want to take a look at the current price range. The price has yesterday dipped into the target area that I mentioned in the videos in the last couple of days. We talk here about the area between $118 and $133. Okay, so the price is between those fib levels, the 100% and the 161.8 extension levels. So we're dealing here with a larger ABC structure as alternative. I haven't labeled the whole thing, but that would be the alternative if we break below $119. Or, and that's currently what I'm tracking primarily, but it's not high confidence because these patterns are not high confidence patterns. They shift, yeah, especially because we're dealing with back-to-back corrective price action. Now then you could say, so that's by the way the triangle. Now that's currently what I'm primarily tracking, a price range. Or then you might say, oh, but then Elliott wave doesn't work. But that's not the point. The point is that Elliott wave tells us we're dealing with corrective price action up and down. So we have to be on the side of caution, but we have clear invalidation points. For example, to the downside, the idea that this is an Elliott wave triangle in wave 4, which by the way has been the idea for a few months. This idea will get invalidated below $119. So A wave down, B wave up, C wave down, D wave up, E wave. Okay, so that would be the ideal structure for an Elliott wave triangle. And yeah, in this structure, what we are dealing with, we're dealing with this price range, and currently we're likely in the late stages of the C wave. Now, what it essentially means is that we are looking at a contracting triangle in which the C wave ideally would end above the A wave low, which is $119. Any break below 119 would invalidate the idea of a triangle, would not invalidate the idea of a wave 4 because the wave 4 can go lower, no problem. But what I would like to see is first if we get a reaction before it breaks below 119, because that's the current thesis. Now, we don't really have enough waves for a triangle. Okay, so I want to see normally first the C wave completed, and then when we can, let's say, at least we have some reason to believe that it's forming a higher low actually in that yellow C wave there, then we can talk about a triangle. But I don't know, it's looking correctively to the upside, correctively down. You know, we have corrective price action back to back, and therefore I'm just labeling it like that. But then I mentioned to you, okay, it's not high confidence, but still, you know, anybody who's looking for long positions, let me tell you that this is not a great long trade Elliott wave setup, but you might have an additional edge. You might just use this for context, and then you might just use, I don't know, trend line breakouts. Okay, that's why I show you the price channel as well here. Or you might use the fib levels to enter positions, or you might use indicators. I mean, that's essentially then up to you personally. But from an Elliott wave point of view, from a structural point of view, the move down looks corrective. We expected further downside. It happened. We expected a reaction to the $133 level. That happened. But then now really, if I pick the structure apart here, the microstructure of this move down, which is the C wave of the triangle, presumably, we're dealing with a WXY structure. So we have the wave W to the downside, an X wave rally, and then the Y wave to the downside to follow. And here we have an A wave down, a B wave up, and the C wave down is likely an ending diagonal. So these patterns tend to shift. That last dip looks somewhat incomplete because if I deal with a C wave as an ending diagonal, then it would ideally give us one more low in wave 5 of C of Y of C. Yeah, bit complicated now, but you can just refer to the levels to keep it simple. So the support levels are $133 to $118. There are 4 levels, 133, 127, 124, 118 to keep it simple. Below 118, 119, however, we will probably see invalidation of the triangle at least. And the nearest resistance area is between $136.58 and $142. So that's wave 4 resistance. From here, I'm looking for further downside, ideally one more low. Yeah? It just is the case because if this is a C wave down, it should give us 5 waves down. Even if we're dealing with an additional WXY structure or something, and this here would be an A, B, C, then also it should get one more low. But again, that's just what should happen, not what will happen. Therefore, I'm tracking resistance. Above 142, I'll get the first signal that maybe the structure is morphing into something different. If we then see a rally also and a break above the descending trend line, like the upper boundary line of the trend channel, that could indicate a more substantial rally. But bear in mind, in this scenario, we wouldn't be dealing with a massive rally. Maybe we're looking at a rally to this area here where we had previous fluctuations around $160, $170 in wave D. So we're also not necessarily looking for a 5-wave pattern to the upside. We might only see 3 waves up. So that means it might just be corrective, because a D wave is a correction. So we might not get that 5-wave move up and everything. So it would be ideal, but we might not see that. So that's a range, and different ways to trade this. I mean, you could just, if you really are desperate to trade this, if you're itching to trade, I mean, the stop loss level is clear. It would be below 118, 119, somewhere there. If you're trading the triangle, because below that it's invalidated. And another way of dealing with this is just to see this as a range, divide it in 2 or in half, and then the lower range section could be used for buying and the upper section for selling. They are just 2 ideas, but there are hundreds of ways. This is analysis. This is not necessarily telling you how to approach this, because that's always personal. But they're just some ideas. The invalidation level is key. Those key levels are very important when it comes to Elliott wave trading. Yeah, and overall, no surprises here. But beware that we could get one more low. We don't need it. I mean, it's already reached that $133 level. But structurally, it seems like, at least when we're looking at the micro, it might give us that one more low. So far, it's been following the forecast over recent days, weeks, I'd say. Maybe we get another low. But we are getting close to the end of this move to the downside, which means that the buying pressure will start to increase at some point. That's the update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.